Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my quick thoughts on BattleBots Season 7, Episode 2. So let's not waste any time and get into the fight. So, first fight of the night was Hypershock versus Sawblaze. And yeah, this is a fight we saw in the trailer. And after seeing that, I think we're all predicting Sawblaze to win. And yeah, they certainly did. Yeah, this was quite a good fight. Some very impressive shots by Sawblaze. Hypershock got think if I remember correctly, they landed a few shots, but nothing that could parallel Sawblaze's attacks. So yeah, good opening win for Sawblaze, and Hypershock have got a lot of work to do. Second fight of the night is the one you see on the screen in front of you with the weird white line across the top. Yeah, I don't know. Emulsifier versus Fusion, and this was my favourite fight of the episode. Yeah, yeah, this was my favourite fight of the episode. Going in, I had predicted Emulsifier to win this. They got that big wedge at the front, good vertical spinner. It's good deflect Fusion's horizontal up into that, hit that, Fusion probably burst into flames. And the fight started, and I remembered that Fusion has a vertical spinner, and yeah, Fusion sent Emulsify cartwheeling through the air many times. I'm not sure if there's just me, but Emulsify's spinner seemed really weak in this match. Well, not necessarily weak, but very thin. It didn't really look like it had a lot of power behind it. But yeah, maybe that's just an issue they had in this fight and they'll get sorted. Or maybe it did have a lot of power and I'm just stupid. Probably the latter of the two. But yeah, this fight, very good. Lots of sparks, lots of fire. It went to the judges. Fusion won. I've seen some people saying that Emulsify should have. I personally would agree with Fusion. But yeah, that was a good fight. Next up, we had Mammoth versus Valkyrie, and this was not a good fight. Yeah, nothing really happened. I predicted Valkyrie to win, and they did after not really doing a lot. The only notable thing was Mammoth's lifter breaking on itself, which was weird but slightly interesting, I suppose. Yeah, not much to say on that one. The fight I do have a bit to say about is Whiplash versus Mad Catter. I thought Whiplash were going to win this fairly easily, and I was definitely wrong. I thought with Whiplash's driving, they'd be round the sides of Mad Catter, lifting it over, land some good shots, probably win it on the judge's decision. But no, Mad Catter sent Whiplash absolutely flying. Probably some of the highest hits we've seen so far this season, although we're only two episodes in. Yeah. Um, but yeah, pretty good fight. Solid win for Mad Catter starting, taking out all the robots I thought would be right up the top and maybe even a potential champion for this series. Next up, try to ignore the plane in the background. We had Banshee versus Switchback, and yeah, this was a fight. I predicted Switchback would go win this, and they did. Uh, yeah, one thing I noticed about Switchback, it seemed like the weapon, the sort of lift up thing on the front of it, seemed to be really struggling to lift its own weight. I think they might need a more powerful motor in that. Also, Banshee's flipper, while it did get a couple of shots in, it seemed really weak. It didn't seem like it didn't throw robots like I thought it was going to. Although it could be a case of Conche in the first series of King of Bots. In their first fight, their flipper didn't look like it was too powerful. Then in the next fight, they're throwing robots really high. So that could be the case. But yeah, Switchback gets their first win. I don't see them going very far in this competition, but they could do. So, we'll see. The ultimate fight was Hijinks versus Big Dill. Um, I'd predicted Big Dill to win this. I thought it would be the fight was going to go like the fight with Claw Viper and Hijinks a couple of seasons ago, but I was wrong. I thought Big Dill would go in and full anti-spinner mode, deflect uh, Hijinks' spinner, then I don't know, control the match from there. But no, Hijinks won by knockout as well. So yeah, good job, Hijinks. And then we got onto our main event: Blip versus Endgame, America versus New Zealand. And I thought Endgame were going to win this, and they did. So yeah, very much a battle of the low ground here. Lots of wedgelets in this fight. I think combined there's probably over 20 of them. So yeah, the BattleBots probably need to do something about that in their rules. But yeah, started off pretty good. Both robots drove around. Then Endgame got in a good few shots. Both blips, wedgelets. But then yeah, the weapon on Endgame died, and then it was sort of just a pushing match from there. Went to the judges. Endgame ended up winning. So former champion gets their first win of the series, and Blip gets a very high repair bill. Well, that was that for this episode. Yeah, it was pretty solid. Not as good as last week's episode, but I think still okay. There were some good fights, Fusion and Emulsifier especially, and Mad Catter versus Whiplash was also a solid fight. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this fight in the. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you next week for next episode. Bye.